So I'm considering just giving up and buying a pre-built because I really want an RTX 3080, and honestly I'd be fine just dropping it into my current build, but it's really, I mean, you guys get it. It's impossible to find an RTX 3080 for any kind of a reasonable price. I'm on various waiting lists. I tried Newegg Shuffle. I've watched some of those Discords and YouTube streams where it looks for price, like stock drops, all of that stuff. It's just not working out for me. So it did occur to me, what if I just get one in a pre-built so I actually get the thing and then just sell my old system off? Recoup some of the cost. It's definitely an option. And what I really want is a 4K OLED TV, but my RTX 2070 can't really handle 4K. So yeah, that's where I'm at. So, but I love building my own system, and usually you're gonna get a much better deal doing that, but the current market is the current market. So what we're gonna look at in this video is I was researching pre-builds, and I stumbled on Build Redux, which claims to just charge a $75 build fee, and then you get your system. But is it really just gonna be $75 more than I could just build on my own? Well, we're gonna actually test that out in this video. I've intentionally not played around with this too much, so you can get some of my honest thoughts as we're looking at the build. But first of all, we should also know, what am I even trying to build? I'll also want to compare this at the end to what if I just like went on Newegg or Amazon and went like 3080 pre-built that's already there in stock and could ship today. How would that compare to all of this? So there's the goal. First, let's jump over to PCpartpicker. Boom. What would I actually like to build? So I've been looking at this, and I think that this is roughly what I'd like to throw together if I had the opportunity. I feel like I'm in your way here, so Thanos snap, I disappeared. Anyway, here's roughly what I would want. I'll also, I think, put the link to all of this in the description of my video in case you're interested in following along with this build. However, there are certain places, and I'll mention it, where you might want to make a slightly different choice than I did and could even reduce the cost. I was thinking I'd go with the 5600X. At first I was very tempted to go with a 5800X or a 10700K for various reasons, but given the fact that these have come back down to about $270, this thing is gonna crush any gaming performance that I need it to, as well as it's, the 5800X isn't gonna really do much better in current games. And where was I? I was gonna compare, in price-wise, it's a fairly large difference. And I do a bit of editing in DaVinci Resolve for my YouTube videos, but other than that, the use case is just gaming. And the 5800X would be a bit better for DaVinci Resolve, but I don't think it's gonna be enough for the extra $120. Again, an Intel build with a 10700K could have got me the 8 cores as well. Also, if you wanna just go a lot cheaper, you could go with an i5 10400, what is it called, F? And that would be much cheaper if you just want gaming performance that's good right now. Now, I thought I'd throw on just a fairly cheap AIO cooler onto this thing because I honestly don't plan to do much overclocking. That's also why I went with one of the cheaper X570 boards. The reviews on this one don't say it's great for overclocking as the VRM headers get a bit toasty. However, like I said, I plan to do limited, if any, overclocking on this system, so I'm not too worried about it. I also went with the X570 rather than B550. B550 might be better for you and you could get a cheaper price. I went with the X570 for the PCIe Gen 4 lanes to not be as constricted and shared between various pieces. Speaking of which, that's because I'm wanting to go with a Gen 4 SSD, and this is another place you could save some serious money. I'm interested in testing out direct storage on a PCIe Gen 4 NVMe drive when they launch, so I'm looking at a really fast Gen 4 SSD. You could save a lot of money by going with a cheaper SSD if you're not as interested in the direct storage stuff when that comes out. For memory, I could have gone with 16 gigabyte, but since I already have that in my current system, I want to jump up to 32 gigabyte. Thought I'd throw some RGB on there, go with 3600 since Ryzen likes a bit faster speeds than getting something cheaper at like 3000 or 3200. It's not the best memory here that you could ever get, but I think it's going to be good enough for me. But again, you could easily cut this build down to save a lot of money here on the SSD, 16 gigabytes of RAM. You could even go with like a 10400F from Intel. So I understand there's places we could save money here. It's just not what I wanted. Now, the case, again, you could go with a lot of things. I thought this 4000D Airflow seems like a good, well enough reviewed case for a low enough price. And then I thought I'd throw in this power supply. Again, you could get a cheaper one. You could probably even go with like a 650 watt power supply, something like that. But this one is well reviewed and is 850 watts. With how much the GPUs lately seem to be demanding more power, I don't want to be limited by my power supply if I want to upgrade to a 4000 or 5000 series GPU while I'm still running this same build. Now, you'll notice I don't have a video card slotted in here, and that's kind of the problem. But all of these parts would already be getting me up around $1,200. Notice I slotted in the operating system cost. A lot of you guys would just, boom, take that off there. But if I'm buying a pre-built, they're going to be paying for an operating system too. So that is something that you know, we should keep in mind. Anyway, so without the operating system, we'd be about $1,150, $1,155 for this build. Like I said, we could save some money in various parts here or spend a little bit more and get like a 5800X. Now, can Build Redux do anything like this for me? Let's find out. I honestly don't know how this thing works. Let's click the Start Your Build button. Okay, flashy animations. That seems very important. So do we want a good PC, a better PC, or the best PC? Can I just press like completely customize? Is that an option? Well, we want the best. Okay. And there's like sliders here. It doesn't tell me what any of the parts are, but this starts at $2,200. I'm imagining there's some customization available within there. Where this starts at $1,500, $1,200. I'm assuming you could just customize each of these to match the other ones. So should we actually start at just like the mid-range? Let's see where that gets us. Now we pick games and screen resolution. And I can't pick 4K. It's like a toggle thing. Okay. Just out of curiosity, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna look at, could we even pick 4K wait, pressing the back button didn't act. Oh, wait, I can click on the best thing here. So if I was on best, then, okay, we still can't choose 4K. So they won't tell you what your frame rate's gonna be at 4K. They're just assuming that you are not doing 4K here, apparently. All right, and then I click on games and it makes a weird sound. There's my horse impression. I get 45 frames per second on their better system. The best system is 110. Well, we better get 110. Yeah, this seems dumb. Do I really have to pick 3? Let's just go next. Oh, and this is at 1080p. Wait, their better system said it could only do 45 frames per second at 1080p. Well, it's probably thinking ultra settings, and the ultra settings in Red Dead 2 are kind of stupid. You should use the hardware unboxed to optimize settings. Anyway, I mean, if you need more frames. At 1440p, they're only saying that their better system can get you 30 frames. Okay, whatever. Let's just click on the better system and see if we can let's do the best and see if we can upgrade it. Next. Okay, so where are we at here? Okay, we can customize it. That's good. So it's going with the 10700K. Fine. Whoa, 375? I don't think that's what those actually go for, but we can compare on PCpartpicker. Only 16 gigabytes, which again is fine. It really is fine for gaming. Hey, they're going with exactly the same cheap cooler that I threw in there, and I think that was about what that price was, wasn't it? Yeah, they're actually pricing it out $5 less than PCpartpicker. Neat. What else do we have here? We have a Cooler Master TD500. So a similar priced case and design, a little different than what we got. They're going with the Z490 chipset, and they don't even tell you which motherboard it is. I don't like that. Some other PC building sites actually tell you the specific motherboard that you're getting. This one doesn't even tell you what motherboard it is. Maybe if we go to customize, we'll get some more options. Again, they're definitely charging us full price for Windows, even though I bet they can get a reduced price on it or something, you know. They're throwing a 3070 in here for $855. Okay, that's well above MSRP, but I'm gonna be honest, if I popped onto like PCpartpicker right now, just to be clear, if I tried to grab myself a 3070, I doubt we could get it for that price in stock right now. Yeah, so if I just wanted something that's in stock right now, apparently I'd be paying $1,200 if I just wanted to buy that. And that's why I'm interested in this kind of pre-build option in the first place. Okay, they're throwing in a 500 gigabyte NVMe drive and then a 2 terabyte hard drive. I'm not really interested in the hard drive. Maybe we can customize that. Also, 500 gigabytes is a little bit low these days with how big game installs are. They're throwing in a bunch of RGB case fans. Cool. Maybe I should actually throw that into my PCpartpicker build. An 850 watt 80 plus gold. That's what I'm getting. But again, it's not telling me what it is. And they're charging 150 for that. I know on my PCpartpicker build, we had a pretty good quality one for the same price. I doubt I'm gonna be getting the same quality power supply there, but it is the same price. They're throwing in some Wi-Fi. I don't care at all about Wi-Fi. I'm absolutely plugging a desktop into Ethernet. And then their $75 build fee. And that gets them to around $2,000. But let's customize this thing. And the main thing I'm interested in is I want an RTX 3080. So, okay, so jumping to the 3080 is, you know, an extra $250. Okay. That puts our price all the way up to $2,400. That's, a lot of money. So where does that put us? What else can we do, by the way? If we wanted to save some money, I feel like I'm a little bit in the way here. So if I wanted to save some money, so we could actually go down to the Ryzen 5 5600X, just like in my build. So let's actually do that. That's gonna cut some price. And you could upgrade to a 5800X, but I don't know. I don't think we need that. I wanted 32 gigabytes of RAM. They're charging about 200 bucks for it. That is about what oh, can I view the specs on the RAM? Apparently they give you different RAM based on what processor you're buying. So on the 5600X, they're gonna give me 3200 megahertz RAM. If I bought the 5800X, they would also give me 3200. So apparently you can't get better than 3200 megahertz. Honestly, that's fine, but Ryzen will scale up with a bit faster RAM, and they're also not telling me the like CL timings or whatever those are, or the specific brand or anything like that. Interesting. Okay, so let's say I wanted a 1 terabyte NVMe and I don't care about the hard drive. That's gonna cost me $5 more than getting the 500 plus 2 terabytes, but hey, that's just what I wanna do. So viewing the specs on this, it won't tell me what drive this actually is. It's definitely PCIe Gen 3, not Gen 4. So this is definitely not gonna be as good of a hard drive as I was getting, but this is also $124 instead of the $200 I was paying for the Gen 4 really fast one that I wanted. Okay, is there anything else I can customize? I could remove the operating system. Let's say I remove the operating system and then there's no software support. Okay, well, let's just remove that and assume I could get a better deal on Windows if I shopped around and I just wanted the parts. Okay, anything else I can customize here? So it looks like I've pretty much put this in line with what I wanted to build, minus they're charging $1,100 for the 3080. Apply changes. Okay. This also obviously changed the motherboard. Now they're charging $200 for an X570 board. Notice that on my part picker build here, my motherboard was $150. So that's definitely $50 more than the X570 board that I picked out. Although some of them do run you $200. I wish it would tell me which one this is, so that's a bit frustrating. Okay. So they're overcharging on the Ryzen chip again. So the Ryzen chip here I can get for $30 less. The RAM is the same price as what I'm getting, but not as good. They're charging actually $5 less on the CPU cooler. I'm getting a pretty similar case for a pretty similar price. They're charging me $50 more on the X570 chip. The 3080, let's not even talk about what I'd pay for that if I just wanted to buy one right now on Amazon. The 1 terabyte NVMe drive is cheaper than mine, but also not as good as mine that I picked. I'm getting the free 4 extra RGB fans, same price and power supply stats, although we don't know what brand it is. They're throwing in a $30 wireless thing that I don't want or need, and there doesn't appear to be any way to get rid of it. And okay, so we come out at 22, is my head in the way? It's not, is it? Okay, so we're coming out at, okay, well actually, my head is in the way. Once you add on the build fee, we're at $2,354 for this build. That's a lot of money. So what I'm actually curious on here is two things. First of all, okay, what would it actually take if I popped in a 3080 right now to the build I did on PCpartpicker? So, and I understand that this is not the way to buy a 3080 right now. You need to just be patient and keep doing what I've been doing. You try to get in there on the Best Buy drops. You try to monitor the part drop feeds and discords. Try to get one on Newegg Shuffle, all of that. I get it, but if I wanted to actually just buy one right now, apparently it's gonna be $2,000. So let's add that in to my build if I actually just want an in-stock one that I could order. So if I'm impatient on the video card, this build is gonna cost me a ridiculous amount of money. Now again, I don't recommend doing that. You have to shop around right now. Just don't buy the 3080 at that price. It's just stupid, which is why I'm looking at the pre-builds in the first place. So I don't know, guys. I think they're definitely overcharging on a few things. But if it could actually get me a 3080, it's not ridiculously overcharging. And then you have the $75 build fee. I hate that they're not telling me what actual motherboard I'm getting, which actual RAM I'm getting, and which actual power supply I'm getting. That's frustrating. The next thing I want to compare this to is what if I literally just head over to Newegg and just do 3080 pre-built and see what's in stock. Pre-built, I think we can just search for that, right? 3080 pre-built. Okay, and let's sort by lowest price. So if I wanted to do this right now, it looks like their lowest price on a 3080 pre-built is this one. Let's open that up and take a look. So if I wanted just for $2,400, so let's compare that to what we got here. So this one's coming in at $2,354, and I haven't pressed the button to see if I'd get shipping or anything like that. I'm guessing I'd have to pay some shipping, maybe not. But if there's $50 of shipping, we're basically at the same price here. So for roughly the same price, this is already in stock on Newegg. I could literally buy this right now and get it shipped to my house and not have to wait for this this system build. Because I'm guessing, I haven't actually gone through it yet, but I bet if I check out here, it's gonna take weeks or months to actually get to me because they need to build it and get all the parts, and 3080s being what they are. Okay, so what is this thing? By the way, this is an ABS system from Newegg. What I understand about ABS systems is that these are actually built as Newegg's in-house pre-built maker, right, thing. And they are building them with actual stock. So these are not gonna be like if you bought a Dell Alienware, please don't. But if you do, it's gonna be really hard to upgrade. They use proprietary parts and weird motherboards and power supplies, and you might have compatibility issues if you tried to upgrade this thing yourself. On this Newegg ABS system, it actually tells me what everything is. These are all parts you could buy on Newegg, theoretically, except for the 3080, which you really can't, right? I mean, for less than the price of this whole build, okay? Oops, I just clicked the wrong button. But okay, what does this get us? This gets me a 10700KF, which actually has some advantages over the 5600X in terms of it has 8 cores. So in productivity situations, or if games do start really wanting 8 cores, this could have some advantages, but it also has some disadvantages versus the 5600X. So that's a bit of a hit or miss change to the build. Overall, it would be actually nice to have 8 cores. Again, you get a 3080. It doesn't tell you what brand it is. It gets you a Z590 board, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember off the top of my head how those specs differ from from the 570 thing we were doing on the AMD build. It's only coming with 16 gigabytes of RAM, and it's 3200, so it's half the RAM we were looking at on the other one. Intel 660p M.2. From what I remember, that's not going to be a Gen 4, so this is kind of more in line with what I'm probably getting from this build. It actually wouldn't surprise me if this is something like a 660p, since that's one of the cheaper NVMe 1 terabytes. So this is likely about the same thing. 244 millimeter liquid cooling RGB AIO. It doesn't tell me exactly which brand it is, but it wouldn't even surprise me if it's the same cheapo one that we were looking at here. It's 100 watts less, and once again, actually isn't telling me the exact power supply. So may or may not be better than the 850 watt. Could be worse. If it's 100 watts less and also a not very great brand, we could be in trouble here. And the mid-tower case here seems pretty similar to the other two we were looking at. With the tempered glass front panel, sometimes you end up with some cooling issues, although it does look like there's at least some venting here. I realize I'm pointing at my screen rather than up here. It looks like there's some venting on the edge there that might help out a bit. I don't know, I haven't seen reviews on this particular case. Okay, so this is okay, and I would actually say is fairly comparable to what I'm getting here. So there was a little bit more customizability here, which is cool, but I'm guessing I'm gonna have to wait a lot longer to get this. I could literally buy this one right now on Newegg for $2,400, which is about the same price, especially if they're shipping on the other thing. Honestly, again, I'd rather just build this thing myself. So looking at pricing again, if I could get a 3080 for $1,000, I would come in with this build cheaper, a little bit cheaper than what they're doing here. But to be honest, $1,000 on a 3080, even though that's way above MSRP, is actually right now incredibly hard to find, and you have to be monitoring stock drops and everything like that to get it. So in the current market, I'm tempted to say that Build Redux isn't as horrible as I honestly thought it was gonna be. I assumed all these would be, I assumed it was gonna be hiding a lot more in these prices than it appears to be. It's definitely not giving you an MSRP 3080, at least not like a Founders Edition one. Although to be honest, I'm a little more tempted to just go ahead and order something that's in stock and could just ship to me. On that note, let's see if they have anything slightly higher end for a similar price. Okay, this is interesting. So if I was already gonna be spending a lot of money, if I bump it up $300 more, it looks like we could get the 32 gigabytes of RAM along with the 5800X, which is, again, pretty interesting. We're on an X570 mother, still only the 750 watt power supply. I would kind of wish that went up 100 watts since we're on a beefier processor. Interesting. So if you did want to get the 32 gigabyte and the 5800X CPU, they can do that as well, although we're getting into really expensive territory, although all of these are really expensive, to be honest. I'm not sure if I'm going to buy one of these and then just sell my old system to recoup some of the cost. I don't know. What do you guys think in the comment section? Should I just not buy right now? Should I just wait another year or whatever it takes to buy an in-stock GPU? What do you guys think about all this in the comment section? I will definitely be curious. And I hope that you have an excellent day.